Is this with Callum and Nige?
Yeah.
That's so cool that they live in the city, especially when they've got an event on. It's like crazy. I was talking to Nigel at the Dirt Jam, and yeah, he said he was there from 6 a.m. I'm Julia Wallace. I work at City of Adelaide, and my role is Sport and Recreation Coordinator. One of the major parts of the strategic plan is to be a livable city. And within that, one of the actions is to facilitate recreation in the parklands, enhance the role of the parklands for physical activity. I guess the BMX track is one of those facilities, and so we're doing what we can to ensure that, you know, people know about the track and that, you know, they can recreate and also be a healthier person.
So I started riding these jumps probably going back about 13 years ago. Started riding here. They were pretty run down back then. They were just sort of rough mounds of dirt, and then Nigel came along a few years after that, and I was talking to him the other day, and he said that if that old bloke can do the jumps, then so can I. So he started doing the jumps and getting into it, but he brought with him a real enthusiasm to maintain the facility and upgrade it. So he used to walk across to the soccer club across the road and cart buckets full of water back from the soccer club about 300 metres over that way, and yeah, just to fix one jump at a time. And he was that committed that he'd just come out with a shovel and a rake and a broom and a couple of buckets, and bit by bit he just started doing up the jumps.
What infatuates me? It's creativity, and it's a space to be in nature that is close to the city. So you can live an urban lifestyle, but you can still be amongst some trees and dirt, and I think that's vitally important to humans, and to me it's especially important.
So we're on level 7 of the Colonel Light Centre on Pirie Street. So this is one of various locations for council. So there's the Works Depot off of London Road. We've also got the Eagle Chambers and the Town Hall. The first conversation I actually had with the City Dirt crew was about some branches that had fallen, so a risk, I guess. And so I called them up and asked what the go is and what their involvement was at the track, and I started to learn a whole lot more that I didn't realise prior. So I discovered that these were the guys maintaining the tracks, and, you know, they're not actually employees of City of Adelaide. So I delved into that and discovered that, yeah, they're the main head honchos down there keeping their track safe. I'm blown away by the amount of work that those guys put into the track. Just last week they put in over 22 hours each, just in maintaining the track and making sure that the trails are good to ride, and it's just their work goes beyond what a lot of people realise.
Okay, ready? Yeah. Okay. G'day. I'm Peter Excise. I work with the Adelaide City Council in the infrastructure area, looking after the assets of the city. I'm the asset consultant for urban elements, and one of the portfolios of assets I have is the BMX track. I met Nige probably back in 2009 or so, when we were starting to look at upgrading the track. Just his passion, and then Callum's come on board, and basically, as Nigel's words, he's grown up with the track. So they're passionate guys, they're great, and they just do things that we just couldn't do as a council because it's just so maintenance intensive. And it's the expertise that they bring to it. We just don't have that. You can't buy that.
Nige was actually the first one that met Pete, but I think it's such a big personality, you'd be hard pressed not to remember meeting him the first time generally. Pete has been absolutely fundamental to keeping this place running and backing us 100%. Without him, I've got no doubt this wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist in this current form, or it wouldn't exist full stop. We've got so much time for him and everything he's done to help us, whether it's be, from really basic stuff to just seeing how we're going, dropping us a line every now and then, to going the extra mile with some funding and getting things on the straight and narrow.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of manual physical labour in the whole thing, and a lot of, you see them with the shovels and just hand physical work, which is just moulding, and the more I've investigated it and looked into it, that's just how the tracks are built. It's part of that, shaping it so it does the right thing. They need the lip to be the right way and the berms, or some of their terminology, so it's perfect for what they're doing, and it sets up how they ride. The whole idea was a progressive thing where you could start as a beginner, bring your little kids out to play, they learn, they move on to the intermediate, and then from intermediate they start progressing to the more advanced sections. And the advanced track was designed too, that there are a beginner's, intermediate, advanced section in there as well. I couldn't tell you what it is, it all looks too hard to me.
The engagement of being able to get in there and actually build something and then ride it, it takes the whole thing to another level. Skate parks are great, but once they're set in concrete, there's no changing them. And I think this gets people involved on another level, because they come down, they talk to Nigel and Callum about potential opportunities for improvement, and then Nigel and Callum will help to show them how to do that in a safe way that's going to be safe for everyone, taking all the risk factors into consideration. And yeah, and then you've got 14, 15-year-olds that can come down and show their friends, yeah, I built that jump, come and try it out. It's really powerful for the young people. They love it, yeah.
It is a little bit innovative, because a lot of councils, they'll just pay contractors to come in and, fix the site every 6 months to a year. But what that does is it doesn't create that ownership and passion amongst the riders. If council's doing the works, then it's basically a council asset and you don't have that ownership over the site. So with City Dirt, Nigel and Callum and the rest of the crew, they've got that passion and they want to be there and they want to change it. So instead of having council do that work, they want to be there and they want to do it. So how can we help them do that?
There's a term in riding, I don't know, it probably is in a lot of areas, but it's a term called progression. And when I was a young rider, I would look up to people who were older than me, and they'd start saying how they wouldn't ride anymore because, they were old and they were hurting and, that type of thing. And I was like, I got a bit of Peter Pan in me. I like to keep going. And the thing about building jumps is that quite often you'll build something that is just beyond your level of skill. And the joy of that is that that you're gonna have, when you're building it, when you build it, you've got to hit it. Like, that's just part of it. And it makes you a better rider. It gives you an adrenaline rush. It makes life worth living. Like, when you do that and you do that at 7 o'clock in the morning, and that's how your day starts, it doesn't even matter what you do with the rest of your day, because you've already just killed it.